Hey y'all, we live. I'm gonna do my best to not make this too long, um, but I really have some things that I wanted to just share with you guys. We're calling this Transformational Tuesday, and so we are starting a new series. So you will see me every day. Okay. For those of you who do not know me, I am Tamasha, aka the Truth of July, aka your coach of truth. And what that means is I help you find solutions that will activate your holistic awareness, step into alignment, and really be accountable so that you can manifest as your authentic self. Because listen, the realest person that you can be is you, right? I sell oregano oil for those of you that don't know. So, that is me just giving you a couple of tools for holistic awareness, especially in times like this. Please visit my website, truthofjuly.com. We're definitely going to have several back orders, but please go to the website. I have something there for you. Hey, KK. That's my old neighbor, you guys. I've been knowing KK since I was a kid on Wilcox. Hey, cousin. Hey, Mercedes. Thank y'all for chiming in. Look, I'm going to turn these comments off because I get so distracted and I made some notes. So I'm trying to stay on course. So bear with me. If you see me like kind of looking off, I'm recording myself on my webcam and I have my notes at the same time because y'all know I like to talk. But, here we are during the holiday season. This is a tough time for many of us. We have 2020 has just been one of those years, right? Everyone everywhere is experiencing the same thing at the same damn time. And when we look at that, that's scary, right? It's scary. Um, Love and light to anyone and everyone who has lost someone, whether it was this year or around this time of the year, because it just isn't the same. It just isn't the same, right? So, sending love and light to all of you. I'm just going to jump right into what I want to talk about in regards to transformation and what transformation has done for me. I'm 37, I'll be 38 next year, 80s babies. And I am looking at the past 20 years of my life and how I've transformed so much. But I'm still me, right? I'm still Tamasha. People who went to school with me, they know I was funny, always cracking jokes, always cool. Um, just always down for a good time. Um, but I've evolved, as we all do, or as we all should. And so when I think about transformation, in the past 20 years and what I've done. Sorry, you could probably see the smoke from my incense. That's all that is, y'all, I promise. But I think about all the things that I have done and what has taken place, in divine order, right? And I looked at the term transformation and, like what it means. And it's like a metamorphosis, right? And a metamorphosis is a dramatic or thorough change in form or appearance. I think I kind of look the same, but definitely my form and my posture has changed, right? And when we talk about transformation, we talk about the change or the form in nature of a thing, a person, by natural or supernatural means. I like that word, supernatural, because everything is energy, everything is frequency, everything is spiritual. What we see isn't even what we're really seeing. when we really sit back and think about it. And so when we think about transformation and we think about evolving as a person, where we are, where we were, and where we're going to be, that's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in. Some of us are afraid of transforming. Some of us are afraid of change, even though it's inevitable. Some of us are really, truly afraid of changing. And there's so many things that can unfold through change. I know for me this year, and really last year, was the entire process of transformation for me. I'm originally from California. I lived in Dallas for the last 10 years, and I moved to Cincinnati, Ohio last year. And it was not an immediate plan at all. But I started to think about the things that I was speaking over my life prior to that move. I was telling everybody at my job, I'm retiring, y'all. I don't know about y'all, but this year I am retiring. I'm retiring. I didn't know what that was going to look like. And they was like, oh, you must be coming into some money. And I'm like, no, I'm not. But I know that I'm retiring. I know that some type of transformation is going to take place and it's going to make room for me, right? And one of my coworkers, Patty, she was set to retire at the same time. And I told her, I said, Patty, we're retiring at the same time. She's like, okay, girl. And before you knew it, this opportunity came and it was time for me to leave. And it was my way out. And like I said, I didn't know that it was going to look like that. And that's what happens during the transformation process. You can speak things over your life, and when it starts to happen, when that divine order starts to take place, you don't get to determine what it looks like, right? And I moved, and it happened. And while I love Dallas, that's home base. I mean, California is home, but I love Dallas. That transformation into a new state that I've never thought that I would ever live has been the greatest, most liberating transformation I have ever experienced. And so if you feel yourself changing and you feel like you need to make a move, you feel like you have to do something, whether it's in regards to your career or whatever the case may be, you have to surrender to it. And I talked about surrendering before. And so what happens through surrendering is that inner transformation begins to take place, right? And sometimes we get so busy trying to change things on our own that we start messing up stuff. You start touching stuff that you don't have no business touching. We start to deplete our energy. And a lot of us are tired. A lot of us can't sleep because we need to transform. A lot of us aren't getting rest at night because a transformation needs to take place. I read something and it said, the reason why that you can't sleep at night is because sleep requires peace. How do you get the peace? You have to surrender. You have to surrender to the transformation that is destined to take place in your life. It's not supposed to look like what you think it's supposed to look like. If you know you have a vision, if you know that you have a purpose and you are speaking it over your life, then why wouldn't it be so? You really don't have to do a lot in order to transform, in order for that metamorphosis to take place, because it becomes a natural change. That form begins to take place naturally or supernaturally, as the definition says. So when we talk about that surrendering to the inner transformation, you have to appreciate your own growth. There are so many people who don't know this version of you. People who you probably have been friends with, they don't know this you. And sometimes we get fearful when somebody says, oh, you changed. Oh, you're not the same person. Thank you. I'm not supposed to be. The transformation was supposed to happen. And we will count ourselves out thinking about what other people think about who we're transforming into. The main thing is just being authentic and being real. And sometimes we question ourselves if we are being real. You know? Going through my notes. What happens during the transformation, the supernatural transformation, the inner transformation, is we are shifting from unconsciousness to a more conscious state. We're more aware, right? You're more aware of yourself. You're more aware of what's real and what we were taught to believe is real. Remember when they came out with reality TV and we were like watching the real world and they were in the house and we just assumed that it was just cameras set up everywhere and they were just doing their thing. And even now that has evolved and we're watching it and it's like, yep, that's happening in real time. All of it is still a script. So it lets you know that even reality TV isn't real. The only realness that you can really control and grab a hold of is the real you. And so start to think about what's happening around you. Everything that's happening in this world, do not let it affect you. If you are one who watches the news, you're scrolling through Facebook, you're scrolling through Instagram, and you're reading every single breaking news, every single article that comes out, tweet from the, all of these organizations, I encourage you to stop. Because it's interfering with your transformation. What we think is happening is so much bigger than our thoughts, y'all. Don't let that interfere with your transformation. Become more aware of your body, your health, your diet, because when you become aware, you become aligned. Your thought process will begin to transform. The way you move, the people you interact with will begin to transform. All of that will cause a metamorphosis in you. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. I can truly testify that it is uncomfortable to transform, because what is taking place is we are looking for rewards while we go through these things, and they just don't happen. Those rewards just don't take place, and we're like, this does not feel good. But the spiritual path is never pleasant. It's never comfortable. I read something from a book, and it said, unlike a cruise, when you go on a cruise ship, the cruise ship picks you up and you go out on this water and you forget about everything else on land, right? You're in your room, you're watching these waves, you're in this massive body of water, and the energy is just different. It's just different. It's amazing. And what happens is we're still us, and we come back, and we're still there. We're back to reality. We're back to our jobs, and it's like, ugh. But what happens is the real path of transformation takes place when your entire personality that someone else identified as you has completely changed. And it does hurt, but the task at hand is what the reward is, if that makes sense. And so sometimes we have to take like those mental vacations and go on those mental cruises and come back and allow ourselves to be different. Sometimes that can be prayer, that can be meditation, but the transformation process is so necessary. It's so necessary for growth. I'm gonna wrap this up, but I just hope that everyone watching, whether you're catching this live or you're catching the replay, to just understand that 2020, 2021, and God willing, all of the rest of the years that we are all meant to see, that you allow yourself to transform. You allow yourself to go through that metamorphosis process, because you can still be the organic you and still change and still evolve. And that is going to look like people dropping off. That is going to look like career changes, physically moving to a different city, to a different state. But you have to allow that to take place, especially when it's buzzing inside of you that it needs to happen. A lot of us, we ignore those signals. We ignore the signs of transformation. We ignore what we need to do to get to the next level because it's uncomfortable or because of what somebody else is going to say. I have a quote on my wall that I got from my master coach, Lakendra. I'm gonna turn the comments on. Y'all talking to me? I started to put it over here, but I'm just gonna read it to you guys. And it says, "You're not stuck. You're just committed to certain patterns of behavior because they've helped you in the past. Now those behaviors have become more harmful than helpful. The reason why you can't move forward is because you keep applying an old formula to a new level in your life. Change the formula to get a different result." That's it. You just got to change the formula. You can still be you. You can still be that crazy you. I love to party. I love to have libations. I love to dance. I love to laugh hysterically until I cry. You know, I go through Instagram and I laugh at all that crazy stuff too. I'm not too good for it. But if you aren't changing and if you aren't becoming aware when you are sitting in those moments by yourself alone, then what are you doing? What is it all for? Who is it for? Right? I mean, you're online, you're posting pictures, we got filters, you know, we have these great posts and quotes. Everybody's sharing the same stuff. Oh, I went viral. But who are you when that phone dies and you plug it up and it's just sitting there and you're there to sit with yourself? Who are you? What are you doing to work towards being a better you? Listen. It be sounding corny, y'all, but it is the truth. If you do not take the time to show up for yourself, to meditate, to pray, you will find yourself going around in a constant circle. You will still continue to yield the same results. I guarantee it. And when you start to make hasty decisions because something isn't working for you, so you're like, well, forget that. I'm just going to try this over here. It still won't work because that ain't even you. It's not you. Surrender to transformation. Surrender to transformation. Change the circle of life. Interrupt it. Interrupt what you're used to. Interrupt what you saw your grandmother and your mother do that did not work for them. Interrupt it. And this is definitely no shade to my mama, because my mama is amazing. But my mother came from Louisiana. There is nothing passed down besides, keeping myself up, and of course, maintaining a job and things like that. Amazing woman. But there are certain tools and resources that was not passed down to me, and it is now up to me to seek out those things so that I can become a better me, so that I can become better than her. You know how if you're a parent, you always say you want your child to be better than you? Okay, well, you still have to encourage them and give them resources and lead them on that path so that they can become better than you. So I want to be better than my mom, and I want my girls to then be better than me. But I refuse, at this point in my life at 37, I refuse to make hasty decisions that will please other people, that will go against my morals and my ethics, that will cause me to stress out or experience any type of grief. And that whole family thing and best friend thing, yeah, those are temporary, right? Just because you are related to someone, or you grew up with someone, or you shared the same room with them, or y'all was all together, that does not warrant for lifelong support. And so when you begin to transform, you cannot count on those people to support that. You just have to surrender and do it. That anxious feeling that you feel, the success is on the other side of it. I promise. It is. The success is on the other side of that anxiety, what we like to call butterflies in our stomach. I've talked about this before. The success is on the other side of it. The new beginnings is on the other side of it. You keep trying to shy away from it because you don't like how it feels. That's the transformation. That's the metamorphosis. I ain't gonna hold y'all no longer. But I wanted to share that with you guys, because in a time like this, it is so easy to get distracted. It's so easy to get distracted. It's so easy to give your heart and allow people to take advantage of you. It's easy, especially right now. But when you show up for you, you don't have to bend for anyone else. And the people who love you will not expect you to. They're going to love you where you are. If the love is real, if it's authentic, people are going to love you exactly where you are, as long as you are being your authentic self. I'm only talking what I know. I'm talking what I know, right? Which is one of the reasons why I wanted to become a life coach, because I call myself the truth of July, because I used to lie. Right? I used to lie as a kid. And I had to go through a process of learning what being honest was. And I don't mean just lying to hurt people. I lied because my truth was silenced as a kid. So I had to transform and understand what honesty and trustworthiness was. And I had to become it. I had to transform into that. And it would be crazy if I kept all of this to myself and not shared it with you, or not be there for you so that you can get out of the shit too, because it's a way out. I promise y'all, it is mind over matter. It is a mindset. It's not anyone else's opinions. It's not anyone else's life on social media. It is your mind. And it will either free you or hold you captive. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. It means a lot to me. It does. And I'm making a commitment over the next 30 days to go live every day with a different topic. And I put a link attached to this video. I can't see it, but maybe you can, to join my Facebook group, Truth with Solutions, because I want to give you that raw and realness, but I want to help you get the solutions, because all of the answers are inside of you. They are. So thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, whether this is live or you're catching the replay, or if you came in later, start that thing over, because it might just be for you. And y'all enjoy the rest of your night. Peace.